All right, so we are live. We are live. Can you see me?
Hey, hey, not yet.
No, not yet. But you can hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. Okay, so this is the Key to J Reveal show, y'all. We are here revealing some things, and we're gonna talk about that thing called healing. I
Yeah.
got my man, the sound shaman, Kiwi in. I have to make sure I say that right. Kiwi in. I said it right this
Yep.
time. Okay, so Kiwi in. So let's do
Hey,
some
hey.
talking. Some talking on the Key to J Reveal show. We're gonna talk about healing today. And Kiwi and I like to always start off with how did we meet? I know we are social media buddies. I've run
Right.
across a lot of people on social media. I've connected with so many people, especially people that are in the creative space, that are healers, that are doing things that they love, that brings them joy. So,
Mm-hmm.
Keegan, we met on social media.
You're right.
And I want to say it's Facebook, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know how we became friends, but somehow we end up hitting those buttons and say I should be connected with this person,
Right.
for some apparent reason. I mean, we may not tap on each other's page too much, but you see people's stuff coming through the feed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I tend to like a lot of things that I see some people doing. I'm attracted to it. You are tell me what do you do? Because I don't want to assume. I want you to tell me what you do.
Well, I currently practice my crystal Reiki and sound therapy, by way of everything that I've been studying in college. I went into the practice and study when I was in undergrad and studying biology. And right now I'm out in
Mhm.
Georgia studying chiropractic. And so
Oh,
being a musician and relating the different what would you call it, knowledge and just a different academia together to merge the worlds to be basically what am I doing? I'm going to band practice, but then I love being in the lab, and it was more of a self realization and self discovery, and
wow.
that revealed my healing, and then allowed me to be on a journey with healing for others.
Okay. And what age you said you started in undergrad or did you start in grad school?
Undergrad.
Undergrad. So what do you think attracted you to healing, crystals and all that stuff? Because those are the things that are laid out, we see laid out on the table before you. You're attracted to those. What attracted you to crystals?
Well, when I studied the elements in ecology and all the other scientific classes, I basically got into studying the different molecular structures of each crystal and how electromagnetic and everything that we use in our technological world today, from our phones, clocks, laptops, everything like has this crystal technology in it, and it's just that it could be used in its rawness for what it already emits and resonates when it comes to the different organs and um, vibrations inside of our body. So
Okay.
and within our world as well, like the aura and electromagnetics and all of that. So that correlates to me when I think about crystals now. It's like crystals are the bones of the earth. So studying chiropractic, it relates to just even how our bones are formed, and they share similarities. So it's just discovering all of that and working it.
Right. So you said it's like our bones in our bodies.
Yeah,
How is that?
because the molecular crystal matrix is it's a whole lot of
It's a lot
um
that goes with it. The A
yeah.
plus the C.
Right. And so yeah, like basically every natural thing has a resonance, and in that resonance is how it forms. And the crystals, like their natural formations in our bones, like their natural formations actually share a resonance in correlation with how they're formed. But when it
Wow.
goes to talking about the electromagnetics in each crystal, they can also help and regulate different processes in the body. So the different frequencies, like say if you have any inharmonics, like this is not a promise, but it's like it's known for all of the stress disorders, pain, depression. People, even when it comes to stimulating bone growth, people have been
Mhm.
using sound therapy for some time. So I just kind of integrate the crystals with, and I have crystal quartz bowls that I play in my sessions, and I've been able to facilitate my knowledge of sound with the knowledge of the crystals and the Reiki that is applied to that.
Okay, so I've seen those. What are they called? Those sound machines. Have you seen those online? The sound machines where you can put it
Like
up to plants and it's
you
supposed to
said,
give off a type of wave or energy. You can
you put it
hear the.
you
Go
put it
ahead.
up to your you put it up to your ear.
Yeah, well, if you, it's like it takes the tone from the plant. It plays some type of melody.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's dealing with the electromagnetic. So it's taking the different electromagnetic codes and the frequencies of the life impulses from the plant and translating it and composing it into music that we can understand. So it's kind of like a way of us communicating with the plants.
Technology is so amazing now. I mean, the fact
Right.
that you can even just get online and we can connect. You know?
Right. But check that out. It's a crystal in that technology. See, so
Yeah,
it is amazing. I mean, it's all earth and it's all getting back down to the elemental base of what's really holding all us together in the first place.
right.
So that healing is that resonance that is from those natural processes that can be shared in the space, and in the environment so that those beings can correspond, so to speak.
Okay, so let's touch on now. I've been told I was a healer, right? I have some crystals myself, but I don't have any big crystals. I know I was always told that the quartz crystal is it the quartz? Yeah, the quartz crystal is the most powerful one.
Well,
Is that
it
true?
Yeah, I would say in its universal, nature of being used, like that's what I got on my neck right now. It's a clear quartz, and
Okay.
it's wrapped in copper. And this one right here is one I found in Georgia, and
Oh
it's a
wow.
quartz
That
is
on the
all.
beach?
Huh?
Where'd you find that on the beach somewhere?
No, no, no. I literally found it in the woods. I spent a lot of time out there, so
Oh
yeah,
wow.
right.
Wow.
But Georgia has a lot of it. Georgia has a lot of crystals. They have some mines around.
I wonder why that is. They
Yeah,
have so
yeah.
many.
That's a whole nother story.
In California, because everything is built on mountain. Where everything it really is mountain, but California still has a lot of mountains available. To you. You go there, it's beautiful, but I can't deal with all that. The infrastructure of the houses just falling down. I can't do that in California.
Uh,
Okay, so what would you say it takes to be a healer?
under self realization, really, for me, I mean, that's the path that I chose, and that I know in my experience, thinking about how I can relate to others, just how we're all reflections of one another. That shared
Mm,
experience, and even if it's not something that I went through, but something that I know of, I can see the correlation and help with the individual response when it comes to realigning the chakras and helping them emotionally. But that's my healing, in how I was the musician, playing the trumpet for so many years, really, opened that up for me.
okay. So what year did you start playing the well, yeah. How old were you when you started playing the
Ooh.
trumpet?
I was in
You
middle
had
school,
musical ears.
sixth grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so what age is that? I mean, that's somewhere in early teens.
Yeah, you
Over
said sixth grade?
there.
Sixth grade is like what, 12, 13, maybe 11, 12 years old.
And
So
I'm
you started,
27. Hey, I'm 27 now.
okay, so you were like 12, 13 when you started
Mm,
playing an instrument.
yeah.
Okay. And see,
Mm,
I always wonder what connect us to those things, because even for me, like when I was about that age, I started playing the violin. I didn't stick with it, but it was just like
mm,
an experience. I say through life we have experiences that we deal with, and some things are not meant to be forever. So it's just one day you decide that something hits you, you want to do it, and then you may give up on it, but sometimes you may find interest in it for the long haul and stick with it. So do
right.
you felt like something connected you with that trumpet? You stayed with playing that trumpet. You still playing it now, and is that the only instrument that you play?
Well, that's my most fluent one. Going into playing the sound bowls and tapping at other instrumentations. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a master at anything else, but really just trying to fine tune my trumpet, and that's an experience. Like I can't get up and play. You know, it's
Right.
all a different expression. It's interesting. Yeah. So it be up to it was the realization of how music influenced the body when it comes to the nervous system, the entrainment processes and
Yeah.
vibratory frequencies, and how things become inharmonic, and or that vibration itself, it can resonate and cause a reaction in a or organism and being. So that really was my big interest, was it was realizing that in the process of studying biology and everything else, um
Mm-hmm.
just in band practice one day, and even in my individual practice, it was like, wow, like, okay, I see what's happening here. It was kind of like that out of body experience, so to speak.
Right.
And some of the performances where I realized my position in the whole, in that unity, and yeah, it's mind blowing because it's like that
The music,
experience.
like you are one with the music.
Yeah.
With me, I like characters. I like performing arts. I love smooth jazz. And those
Hmm.
instruments tend to gravitate towards my brain, and it's therapy. For I think smooth
Hmm.
jazz is therapy instruments. Period. It's therapy for people. We just sit down and this is how you learn to focus. Sit down and listen to some music. Even classical music, from what I heard, is really good for therapy. So I mean, those are the one of the two. Even if you go to Africa, I'm sure you listen to the music there where they hitting the congos and all this and that. That's therapy because it's just instruments. It's really no
Yeah,
lyrics.
and it's
That
natural. Yeah, and it's natural too.
yeah,
Like most of
natural
the
tone.
instrumentation, yeah, right. Yep. Most instrumentations that we listen to now are not as natural as they could be, and they're tuned so amped and so highly that, it is excitatory, but it's overstimulating, and that causes stress and anxiety and everything else. Working with the instruments like the tingshy bells, the sound bowl, the didgeridoo, and a couple others, like, and realizing the different natural highs and lows and how the body vibrates and resonates to those harmonics has been a big part of healing with in my sound therapy practice. So yeah, and using the
That's good to know.
crystals only amplifies it. Say again.
Moroccans, even with the tambourine, putting all those melodies together. My gosh, that's
Yeah.
just it's
Hmm.
breathtaking. Okay,
Right.
so for you, you started playing your instrument, you got into crystals, um, and grad school, well, undergrad, and now you are on what journey would you feel like that do you feel like you're on at this moment now that you're in grad school?
Well,
What's
the
your
really
path?
discovering. Say again.
No, I was saying, what's your path that you feel like you're on now? Now that you're in grad school.
Well, now that this is unfolding, like my study of medical, I would say, is what led me to the grad school and pursuing chiropractic. So now I kind of see that within the scope of understanding and putting these two things and how it all applies to my personal experience, I feel like I'm becoming the doctor of motion and emotion. And I like to tell people that
Okay.
because it's like because emotion is energy in motion, and that's my first
Right.
realization within the process of learning about the science, anything scientific. I just really never, like most people say, when it comes to religion and science, that there's no correlation, but when you get down to the spirituality part of what the religion is talking about and how it relates back to the science, it's a lot of quantum stuff going on within that. And now that I'm practicing, I'm able to become more grounded in the practice where I'll be able to help on the mental, physical, and spiritual level. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Do you look at a lot of
each
YouTube videos? Go ahead. No, you
say again.
finish. You finish. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was about to say, basically, I mean, it definitely, what would you say, affects the other, but as a whole, understanding the practice can only, better me. So that's the journey that I'm on.
Mhm. Okay. So you saying they mesh, and there's a connection there, of course, with
Yeah, yeah,
science and you say, would you say religion? Because I know, what do you say,
like
religion, or do
yeah,
you say
science,
spirituality?
well, religion would branch off of spirituality, the fundamental basis of the message. Religion is more so the messenger. So, within that, it's more so understanding like science went in and tried to understand the fundamental. And religion says you don't have to really understand the fundamental for it to work. But then when you get down to the actual message and how it's been constructed from the source of understanding with the energy and everything else, it's a really
Mhm.
divine concept of how everything fractals and unfolds onto each other, and we're always
Okay.
in the present in this experience. So yeah,
Always
I can go on.
present. Yeah. We always say we are in the present. And you know
Right,
what?
right.
That goes to this question I was going to ask. Do you believe you are connected to your future self?
Yeah, yeah. It's a stream. It's a wave. Everything is a current. It's a flow. It's a frequency. So yeah,
So
it's all
I
a whole. It's a song. You're living. You're a living like song.
So, okay, so let me ask you this, because I know we don't know how we know some of this stuff. Sometimes we just don't know. But it's
Yeah.
like, think about, I know people say we are our ancestors. You
Hmm.
know, we derive from our ancestors, and some of the things that their spirit has endured, it has hit us, to some degree. It's in the air. A
Hmm.
lot of it's around us, it's in the air. Um Sometimes I just brainstorm on things, and it sometimes it may come off like, what in the world is this person talking about? But again, we go back to being a healer is someone, I believe, is to when you start trying to understand people, like you're not putting them down to the way, you're not putting them down the way they think about things, because honestly, we go back and forth sometimes about things that we truly don't know.
Right.
I, just me. I feel like we go back and forth. That's why I don't put a lot of energy into things anymore.
Mm.
The back and forth, because I don't know how we know things. We just know what we're taught. It's programming. And this is just me saying it. We really don't truly know. You know, sometimes I say we don't really. Do we know where we come from? No. Do we
Mm.
know? We know our ancestor spirits are here. Yes, because you can feel it. You can feel something. Something's talking to you. Something's giving you ideas.
Mhm.
The universe around you. Your energy.
Yeah.
Inward and outwardly. But
Right.
the way we think is just things that sometimes we don't know why we think that way, and it may not make sense to everybody because everyone's not prepared for it. They're not what's the word I'm looking for? They're not available right now to think that
Mm.
way. And I feel like if you are a person that's understanding, you could sit down and talk to anybody. We have questions. No one really has the answer, but some people are available to talk to you in a way where they may understand a little bit more than someone else. And you can get it from that person. I understand what you're saying. But still, in the long run, you get part of it, but you still don't have the answer.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
It's all like what you like. Basically, it's all to be experienced in the process. Mm.
hmm So you don't
Right.
really know for sure. You're not
Right.
certain. I guess that's the
Right.
word. You're not really
Yeah.
certain.
Yeah. It's
Um.
operating in the uncertainty. Almost like discovering how the water flows, if you want to, call it that.
Mhm. Mhm. I mean, water moves
Yeah.
when we walk, we talk, when music is around. They have where they could show you music. How music changes the way water, the movement of the water, or how
Yeah.
it sits.
Right.
So the terminology, I don't know. You probably know more of the terminologies than I do. I just sometimes think off the dome because things hit me, and then I may say it, but then somebody else may be thinking it, and I'll be the one to say it. They thought that it was stupid, so they didn't say it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm just that person because I'm just a candid person. I want to know things. I want to know how I know. I don't know. I don't know. I used to go to church. I don't know the Bible like that. So that's another
Mhm.
thing. I've read the Bible. I have Bibles, but I really don't sit down and do the religious thing. I tell people I'm spiritual, and I just walk my path as I feel. I
Right.
emote to things as I feel, and sometimes you don't want to emote as much. You got to be careful with that, but I know. But then it goes back to you healing. Um, so what methods have you used as far as helping someone to heal from their past?
Different psychoacoustic methods with brainwave entrainments, because um with just listening, I mean, listening definitely has its benefits, but your every cell in your body is listening to the vibe, the reason why you feel certain things in certain areas and from certain people. So
Mm-hmm.
I use different brain waves to help with the binaural synchronization of
Yeah.
the brain to help go into those different subconscious regressions.
Okay. So would you say sleeping to that? Because I use the beta sometimes. I use the binaural beats sometimes when I sleep. Do you think that I've
You
read
do
that
beta?
beta can be heavy on you, right?
Yeah,
Heavy
don't.
brain.
I,
You
I
have
actually would. Yeah, I actually wouldn't recommend beta because beta is as predominantly the brainwave state we're always at, even in times of stress and work and high demand. So it
mhm.
is that's why it's heavy. It's very focused and concentration based, and I wouldn't sleep. Yeah, I wouldn't sleep to that one.
Okay. So just the binaural beats, beat waves you would use.
Yeah, and just even if you were just to be sure if if it's working, you can download a tuner, free app tuner on your phone. It just depends on your phone. I have an Android, but you can download that, and actually see if it's measuring the pitch correctly for what it says on, the internet. And
Really?
I mean, yeah, you can. I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
I type in YouTube. I don't do it often, but normally I go to sleep like off of. Lately, I switch it up. I've been going to sleep off of the real beach waves. So
Mm.
I like I like the waves on the beach, to hear that. And then sometimes I'll go to the smooth jazz. Sometimes I'll switch to the classical music. But what your recommendation is would be what to sleep to?
Well,
Just
I
the
would.
primary.
Yeah, I would sleep to some either the earth frequencies or like the has a frequency like it's called the scum resonance. But if another one would be the delta wave. So the delta
Okay,
wave
that's
would
enough.
be, yeah, and if you're trying to lucid dream or something like that, and because different people like the astral travel in dream time, I was gonna say, the benefit, truly out of um the wakeful mindfulness when you're not just falling asleep is the synchronization of that beta wave and how it will resonate and correlate. Like so for instance, in my sessions, the big difference between, I guess, listening to the audio versus feeling the resonance in a personal session would be the vibratory resonance you receive from the crystals and how they electrify the air in the environment, through the
Oh,
electromagnetic process. Yeah.
wow.
So, right.
Did you
And
learn
it's just,
you learned about study in school?
well, I wouldn't say school taught me everything. It gave me different hints, and
Okay.
I would be that student that's reading the front of the textbook to try to figure out who's involved and what inspired this chapter,
Right.
and you get these different quotes, and you're just like, I didn't know trigonometry was the foundation of GPS. Thank you, like it makes
That
sense,
was
and then you.
because I didn't think really people needed trigonometry too much unless you was in some like engineering, mathematics based.
Right, but I understand now that understanding the different codes and formulas in algebra, calculus, trigonometry, and all of that was to help with the processes on the outside world. Like these are like real life coded, programmed equations that
Right.
fundamentally govern how universal laws work with certain variables. But we just weren't told that in school. So it's like I
Yeah.
understood. I started to understand that for myself through just being able to, I guess, exercise my creativity as a musician again, and
Yeah.
that's why I work so much with sound therapy now.
Okay. So you said okay, so certain things that stand out as far as the music, you would say use earth is it earth waves or earth what'd you call it?
The scum it's called. Well, I'll send it to you.
Some
Because
resonance.
yeah, yeah.
And
Um,
that is an app or is that just something you
It's
can
on.
type in?
You can actually YouTube it and it'll come up. But I mean, there are some apps that have it that you don't have to be online and it'll come with the downloaded in the app. But
Okay.
just for sleep basis, if you like there are actually apps that are just binaural beats. If you wanted to use one of them for your sleep and just to kind of put that on a surround sound or speaker nearby and let that resonate in the room, what happens is in that stillness, the waves are allowed to sweep the molecules in the room, and
Really?
yeah, that's part of the healing. Like because we live in an electromagnetic universe. Like when you think about how trees grow, how all the similarities and characteristics of that lightning electric type, structural energy. That goes into an actual basis of thinking about it in terms of the waves. And if you think about like how water resonates, if you drop
Mhm.
a pebble in the water and you see the concentric waves travel
Yeah.
from. That's what's happening to the air in the room.
Wow. So it's like a
Yeah,
counteract kind of wave that's moving.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Wow.
so
I didn't know.
if you have any inharmonic structures in that area, like some of the cell, like say for instance, the some cancerous cells or cells that are a virus or bacteria are
Mm-hmm.
inharmonic with certain processes in the body, you could help restore harmonization by allowing the cells around it to resonate as they are, and the cancerous cells are like hard and immobile. They don't resonate. So they'll literally
Mm,
break up and
wow.
erode from the
Cure,
time.
well, we don't use the word cure, but so you're basically removing what you've had and replacing it with something new.
Well, and your body's always doing that. Your skin and your self
Right.
healing. And that's the philosophy of chiropractic. And what you really drew me into it. The being able to understand how the nervous system affects our self healing process, because we know we regenerate. It's about how we can promote the regeneration. Like I'm a healer, but I'm helping another person realize how they're able to heal themselves better, and
Right.
because they're doing it right.
Right. So that's good to know because I've been thinking about going to a chiropractor. This is what I've heard, and I want you to get more into it. But because you're studying it, as far as like, it releases the toxins in your body. So
It frees
those
up. Yeah,
toxins,
say
go
again.
ahead. No, I was
Oh,
saying it remove the toxins out of the body, but you can elaborate on that more.
yeah, it's putting the body back in alignment. Even if when it comes in terms of metaphysically, like with the sound therapy and the crystal reiki, the promoting alignment in the body is promoting things to work efficiently, because you have systems in the body that are in place to detox areas. You have the lysosomes in the cells, and getting down to the fundamental part, like your body's built to do what's natural. Like, no one's in the forest like, oh, we got to put this tree back together, like understanding it and being able to understand your vessel and being is the healing. Like, even if you think about in the forms of affirmations and prayers, and how people heal from terminal illnesses, and they come to the belief that everything's going to be fine, and that's really changing the wave of your reality, and in epigenetic terms, as Dr. Bruce Lipton calls it. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's amazing what we could do with our vehicle once we're in full realization of how the different processes have been affecting us, whether that be our diet, lifestyle, relationships in our lives, and everything else in between. It's routine, and the spiritual is like a spiraling ritual. So that
Wow.
spirit, so it's reoccurring daily patterns, and that's who you
Right.
fundamentally being.
So so if I'm one and I go to the chiropractor, the first thing they're going to do is do a consultation, correct?
Right. Oh, before, yeah, let me. I meant to circle that back around. I'm sorry. You're like, so about this chiropractor appointment.
Oh no, no,
Huh?
you're
Oh. But yeah, they're gonna do a consultation. They're gonna get you screened in and figure out what's going on, and what's out of alignment, misaligned, and how they could better correct the spine in the area that's needed. And that's not going to be anything that's invasive at all. It's really understanding where the body needs to go, and where you
fine.
need to put energy into a certain system to allow the energy to flow freely.
Okay. So it's now what's the now I know some there's like a huge difference with a massage versus a chiropractor. So if I were
Hmm.
to go, so I do those. I try to do those monthly because it matters.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
the chiropractor can get deeper into the body, the tissue.
Well,
Of,
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say deeper, but you can say that because of the bones, and that's what fundamentally houses the nervous system. So, studying chiropractic, you're studying the musculoskeletal system and how it integrates together within the bone and the spine and the structures within the body. But
mhm,
massage therapy works with alleviating the tensions in those muscle patterns. So I would recommend, going to massage first to see,
mhm,
what, if there is, because it could be a tense muscle, it could be a sprained muscle, and even going to the
mhm,
massage therapist first, the massage therapist will loosen up the muscles necessary in order for a better adjustment. And if you come in the
mhm,
chiropractor office and you're literally cringed from whatever happened, car accident or whatever, you need, some therapy there. And I mean, some chiropractors apply that, but then again, if you find a chiropractor, if you can't find a chiropractor that does the therapy, then you go to the massage therapist, alleviate some of that tension, and then have the chiropractor check and see if there could be any other underlying problems, and the chiropractor can get you screened for X-rays and everything else. Because I mean, present day we classify as primary healthcare physicians, so literally everybody needs a chiropractor. Everybody needs to be in better alignment, and I mean,
oh,
people literally live with hip problems and twisted walks and ankles and backs and necks and
I think,
shoulders. I,
and then the energy
and I
flow
mean
better.
that's
It helps the
right,
energy
right.
flow better
I
through
mean,
the body.
right, and without it, it will lead to disease. I mean, it's a dis-ease, it's inharmonic. It's like a constriction of energetic life force that we're taking in from the environment. So, like literally, if I had to explain it on the energetic level, how it applies to the chiropractic and the practice that I will have, say for instance, for whatever reason, the chiropractor, and they have some mid back thoracic issues, and so they're
Mhm,
kind of cringed in like this, and they've been cringed in like this most of their life, and that's just kind of how they walk, and they just thought it'd be okay, but for whatever reason, that's what they're doing. But then you discover
mhm,
that the reason that they've been doing it is because they have some trauma within the heart chakra, and that they've been shielding themselves,
mm,
and it's been pushing them out of misalignment. So to correct all of those systems at once would do the being an overall better improvement, I would say, in my experience. And so I'm just trying to apply basically all avenues to healing that I can because of my understanding.
right. And by you doing music and you understand the other healing methods and not just the chiropractor part of it, that will help you a lot in gathering, your
Yeah.
clients and knowing exactly what you can other methods that you can use to help them. So that's a good deal for you. I mean, I think you chose a pretty good field since you're into the crystals and the energy flow and all of that. And it's not just I want to be a chiropractor and I want to go and snap some necks and I'm sure they probably get a thrill out of that too. It's almost like you see some chiropractors like, come here, come in, turn around, you know.
It's a relief to see the betterment, and even just the relief in the other person. Like, I mean, a lot of people are scared of it, and you get different responses. But that's a release of that emotion that's been stuck in there. So it's about that
Uh-huh.
energetic release, and the energy is going to express itself just as needed.
Yeah, that's a good thing though. I'm definitely, I'm having this talk with you, I feel more comfortable. Now, have you heard like some traumas behind chiropractor, or pretty much
It's
people
minimum.
are at peace with it?
Yeah, say again.
I say, have you heard that there are any stories of trauma behind that chiropractor?
Yeah, it's minimal, like very few, and the ones that are heard about are dramatically highlighted, and they just did something else that the chiropractor, just didn't recommend for whatever reason. But like literally, when it comes to malpractice insurance, our insurance is pretty low compared to other doctors and other professions because of just how safe it is. Like,
Okay,
I actually don't need a full doctor's office. I just need my table and the connection between, the person that I'm performing the adjustment on.
okay. And you also, you're a master at Reiki as well.
So I work
You're
with
a master
Crystal,
Reiki
right? And
instructor.
yeah. So I work with the Reiki energy through the facilitation of the crystals with teaching the certification that I do now. So
Hmm.
using when it comes to how I am individually made up within what I resonate with, um, it allows me to better facilitate, amplify, and hone in on the specific that are needed for the energy that I'm trying to promote, I would say, for better terminology. Say just to
Okay.
keep down confusion. Um, but yeah, so in terms of Reiki, Reiki is that universal life force energy. I would like to consider it like the every element from the breath, the wind, the light, the earth, like everything that is entangled with life, and given that inner exchange, you know,
Hmm.
a certain breed comes to being a Reiki master. We breathe in and channel different energies and different processes in different ways because of the information that is understood that in ways
Hmm.
that people don't conventionally. So that allows the channeling and the flow of that energy that is called Reiki. It's a ancient Japanese practice, but it's been applied in every spiritual, religious, ancient practice from around. I mean, everything kind of all connected in terms of that fundamental spirituality. Like, and if you think
Right.
about laying on of the hands, if you ever heard that in any spiritual text, just even if you think about natural instinct wise, if you bumped your elbow right now, or if you hurt
Hmm.
yourself, you're gonna immediately go there with your hand. And why?
Hmm.
It's because your hands have this force and this energy that we're able to channel and emit if we can control it. So in your, all of us have these different metaphysical powers, but we don't focus or train them or understand them for ourselves to be able to use them in their nature. But yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's all instinctive because it is still a part of us. So most people on themselves literally like, ouch, like that hurts, like like, and they'll hold it until it feels better, and they notice that it's starting to feel better because they're holding it. But it's
Right.
just that they haven't made the correlation that energy destroyed is only transferred. So the potential energy that's emitting out of your hand has the ability to help promote different harmonic vibratory processes in the body. And that's by way of everything that we can't see, from temperature, and just that resonance period, for whatever it is, whether they're tapping into different breathing techniques to help conjure in that energy.
Right.
That's basically the Reiki. So I use crystal resonance to help specify. each energy and pathway that I'm working with within the body. So you can grid the body because there's more than seven chakras, but there's seven
Yeah,
fundamental chakras, just like the seven notes on the musical scale before you get to the next octave, and they literally correlate when it comes to color and vibration and in everything that I work with within the stones and all of that. So
yeah. I've actually, I haven't done the master Reiki class, but I have done Reiki. And I found it, like I said, I'm always, wanting to know more about some things. So I end up taking a class just to have that experience. I think it's
hmm
it's it's welcoming to me. There's things that I want to know and I need to know. So I said, hey, why not go take a class? I'm always dibbling and dabbling in something in this world, and I think we
right,
all should. You know,
right.
you
All
know,
right. I
we,
mean, we
we
all should be the universal. We all should be the universal, multi-dimensional beings that we are. It's like it's not, putting anybody. Yeah, we shouldn't be forced in boxes. We should definitely. I'm glad that you're doing that for yourself. I mean, even if you didn't want to just practice it, it's to know for yourself. So even if there's a sick family member or whatever, you can step in a room, conjure the energies that need be and from your ancestors and all that, and like just exchange if
yeah,
because it's just like knowing CPR.
yeah. Yeah, it's like something in having something in that back pocket and just saying you could pull it out at any time, and
Right.
use it. But then that goes back to me saying sometimes our experiences, the way of the world that we live, we have a better understanding of some of us have a better understanding of people because of the things that we practice, the
Yeah.
things that we are more in tune to, we're aligned to. They say you're aligned with the stars. Some people will look at you when you say I'm aligned with the stars, and they're like, you're a maniac. What is she talking about? Do you know I met this girl? She said she was aligned with the stars. And if you meet another person that say, "Oh yeah, I know what that means," then they look like the idiot. But if you got another person that say, "Man, she tripping,"
Right.
then it's like them against you.
You're right.
So, and that's kind of like the world we live in because a lot of people just live that. It's a fast-paced life. You go to work, you come home, you take care of kids, or if you don't have kids, you may be spend your time partying, eating, drinking, whatever. But you're not
hmm
taking the time to do things that could help you throughout your life.
mm
Having more understanding of other people and finding out how you can help people and what you can gravitate to. I think just this is just me, how I feel people are. You know,
hmm
I'm in my 40s, so I've lived, and I'm saying that because I've lived and you're younger than me, I would never say my experiences are more, I've experienced more than you because you never know what traumas people have experienced.
Right.
And deeply, they could be in spirit older than what you are living in your 40s. I believe I'm much younger in spirit than my age is because when most people see me, they're like, you're not 40 something. And I say, and I try not to convey that. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be somebody else's mother or grandmother or whatever. I'm
hmm
trying to be someone that you can relate to.
hmm
That's who I want to be. Okay, so we tapped on that, but okay, so we talked about Reiki and everything. Who would you say you like to listen to? I know we have a lot of people out here that are into, the metaphysics world. Who is somebody that you could point the listeners to say, check this person out. They've influenced me. Maybe they have influential information online or a book to read. Who would you point to on that one?
Yeah, the first person that came to mind is a guy I met in Atlanta. His name is Astarius Miraculi. So if you look up Astarius Miraculi, you'll find information.
Like A.
Astarius, and then Miraculi, like miracle,
Okay.
LLI. Yeah. So, and then it should come up. I mean, Google should correct it because he does a lot of work. And I mean, meeting him right off was like more of a confirmation of my self realization when it
Mhm.
comes to the practice. And he has a lot of information now in some of his books. He has albums. He has a couple other things. Like he has tools online on his website. You just have to really go check him out.
Okay.
And then check him out. In the meantime, I'll be having some stuff coming up too. I just can't reveal at this
Okay.
time.
That's
But
right. Keep definitely. I have your at here on Instagram. I know sometimes we're looking for followers. I don't really care about them anymore. You know.
Mhm.
But I want to say this. I appreciate you coming on. Keep doing what it is that you're doing. Um, I feel like as individuals, we are who we are. We don't know why we're the way we are. We don't know why, we take a liking to certain different things and people. And, I just feel like in this world, we have to be more available to help others. Um, Appreciate people. I try to appreciate people. I reach out to those people that I feel like I see that I like doing things, and it's not the
Mhm.
norm. It's not the normal people that you would see. Oh, I got to talk to this rapper. Or I got, and I'm not saying anything about rappers. I'm just saying, I'm using it as just
Example,
a,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just using it. I'm saying because I have talked to rappers, but I'm saying like hip hop heads and all this, and sometimes we
Mhm.
don't talk to the people that we can find more information. I mean, I didn't know that you were doing chiropractic. It's just something about the spirit of you. I said, I got to reach out to this brother, and talk to him because I got, my podcast and I just want to see how he flows and, what's really going on in his head. Because I see you playing with a lot of things online and, I guess you're doing your classes, you said. What classes do you teach in Georgia? Are you teaching classes?
Not currently, but I'm teaching different Reiki, crystal Reiki classes. I'm about to start teaching some methods of sound therapy, but I've been mostly hosting events and collaborating with different healers in the area that just incorporating their practice to help that mind body integration and just help better facilitation of each individual healing. The more the merrier kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, and I said I just had to reach out to you to, like I said, see what was on your mind, the things that you're doing, if you had any things coming up. And I'm always willing to learn because I feel like we can learn from everybody, whether it's good, bad, or, indifferent, we can still
Mhm.
learn from those
Right.
people. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so this is the end of our segment. I just wanted to, get some information from you. But like I said, we were gonna have a conversation and just feed off of one another. And you gave me a lot to go by. I took some notes. I made sure I took some notes. I got the scum resonance and I got the Astarius molecular, right? Molecular.
Mhm.
It'll come up. Miraculous. It'll come up. But do you have anything that you want to say to the people, to the audience?
Say it again.
You have anything that you want to say to the audience?
Well, I'll say just if you're interested in what I'm doing so far and you want any more information, have any other questions or concerns regarding some of the things that we talked about, definitely reach out to me online and stay tuned for more of what I got brewing basically with it in
Okay.
terms of because a lot of people have been asking about the different sound therapy recordings, so I have been working with even some artists in other areas just to basically help, you know, get those frequencies out. So I
Okay.
can
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can really say.
Yeah. And I say never stop. Always keep something going. I don't care how old you are. You don't want to be stagnant.
Yeah.
You always want to be figuring something. Like I said, I'm in my early 40s. I'm always trying to figure out new things to do.
Mm.
Never being stagnant, always being creative, always trying to find something.
And
So
that's the flow of that energy right there, and you are operating in the universe. You know, you can become whatever color or sound or whatever you want to be. Like, yeah, it's about flowing in the spectrum and not like most people get comfortable in that stagnant energy. Like you, I'm glad you use stagnant because that's exactly what causes inharmonics and disease, like stagnant energy, and that can happen and be promoted by different behaviors or you know intakes, whether it be diet, things that we entertain ourselves with, and music that we listen to, like that. You know, when it comes to certain artists, and I mean all that intake. I mean, we digest that, so it's
right,
just all a part of unfolding it and allowing the process to unfold and becoming better and better, upgrading your cellular DNA
right,
as we regenerate into our kids and future generations.
right. And always allowing your inner child to come outward.
Right.
You know, that's
Yeah.
another thing we do. We, as we get older, we feel like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not being a child. Look at that
Right.
kid acting immature.
Right.
But sometimes you just gotta let that out. It's waiting. It's waiting to
Right.
come out.
Right.
I let mine
Yeah.
out all the time. So, I'm about just
I'm
as young as
done.
my daughter. So, and it's good having young friends because when you have younger people, and I'm saying, when I say younger, I'm saying people that have sense. But they know how to have, let the spirit go
Yeah.
and the spirit and
Right.
not doing anything against their will or anything bad, just doing things good for the world. It's a lot of young people out here that's like yourself, younger people that's mature, but you know how to flow, your ebb and flow. You just let loose.
Hmm.
Just let loose. So
Right.
I have a quote, and this is have you ever listened to Wayne Dyer?
No, I haven't.
Wayne Dyer. Okay, he passed away though. He was really into spirituality and he would meditation and all that stuff. And I forget, he probably passed in his late 80s or 90s. But that's a long time to live. A quote that he has, it says, "Have a mind that is open to everything and attached to nothing." So I think that's a great quote on, healing and, opening up. You might want to add something to that before you leave. I don't know if you want to add
Yeah.
something.
I would say that openness definitely is that clarity and allowing, things in your life to unfold and knowing that you can't control anything, but it's literally either you enjoy the experience or you don't. And every experience you're not going to enjoy because you can't stay in one constant emotion. And most
Right.
people that literally try to stay in one constant emotion creates a dis-ease of the environment or vibe in throwing things out of harmonics, and that can lead to fights or illness.
Yeah, yes, indeed. What's your sign?
And I'm on a cusp, the Leo Virgo cusp, so I'm like the first day of
Okay.
Virgo.
Okay. And I'm a Sag. So
Okay.
we're both fire signs.
Yeah.
My
I got
daughter's a
I
Leo.
got the fire. I got a little bit of the fire from the Leo, but I'm mostly earth based. So that's another reason why I work with the crystals, and I need Mother
Yeah,
Earth and the feminine nature of all of that is just how I'm able to better channel my energy through those processes.
yeah. And the same with me. I'm on the cusp. I'm December. Well, Capricorn is after that, so I'm December 20th. So
Hmm.
I'm right there. Yeah. So I have my crystals. What would be a crystal that you would say you would recommend for someone other
I
than the
would
clear
say, oh, you just stopped me right in my
quartz? I knew you was gonna say it. That's why I said, let me say it.
trance. Hmm. Good. That's a really good question. So I would say it would have to be. something like shungite or fluorite. Not shungite. Shungite is kind of rare. I mean, it's not easy to get, especially if you know if it's authentic. But something like a obsidian or a citrine, got calcite. Like I can show you this. This is a green calcite here,
Okay.
and it's for it. Yeah, you see that glow?
Color.
This one is
Okay. Let me see that
check-
one.
oh,
No, I
this
said it's
one
amazing the colors that they have.
right. This one is a
Yeah, that's
citrine,
oh
and it's a
sit okay.
cluster,
Okay.
and
That's a heavy rock,
it
right? That one is solid.
yeah, and
Okay.
it has a quartz base if you see that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It works with the root and the sacral and solar plexus to do some nice prosperity divination type of harmonic with. I mean, it's so many things that crystals actually can be used for, which is why they're used in different technological devices and lasers and stuff. So,
Mhm.
I mean, the properties it are really based off of intention, and we know now through quantum physics that the observer affects what is being observed. So you literally
Okay.
reality is per visual, if you know, per individual.
Got got
So what else do I have? I have some amethyst here. You're probably familiar with
like
this one.
yeah. And I think I have one from Africa. I cannot remember the name of it.
And this one's from Arizona.
Oh
This
wow,
from
that just looks like a rock, a piece of cement.
right, but not the stones just like I mean the crystals are coming from the stones. They just have a more they have a
Oh, a
different
hollow,
spectrum.
and the other ones some are more of a
Yeah.
hollow.
Well, it's like the stones don't let as much light in, and the
Okay.
crystals allow light to flow through them.
Okay.
And the stones still have a resonance. It's from the Sedona in Arizona. So
Okay.
that's a very people do a lot of spiritual work out there, and that's what was brought back to me. So yep, and like this was that obsidian that I was talking about. It's just a black
Okay.
stone. So working with instead like the quartz crystal would be that crystal that I would recommend, but then obsidian would be that crystal stone, that
Mhm.
I would recommend because of its ability to repel the different electromagnetics. Well, repel like lessen the process. So say for instance, what happens is if you're sitting with you like us right now, we're sitting right here, and the reason why I have these crystals pointed in different ways. Let me see if I can pan that down. They're pointed
Mhm.
in different ways. Like I got my ring right here. I was gonna show you. That's a
Oh
green
wow,
jasper,
I have a
and
bracelet
then
with aquamarine, the
ah
aquamarine stone in it. This guy made it for me. It's really nice.
yeah, I got this one. I got this one made by a guy off grid. It has an ammonite in it.
Oh wow, that's a bracelet.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
thank you. And I was gonna show you like even like when it comes to like class rings and wedding rings, like there that the stones have intent are be able to be programmed through intentions. Like so
Uh-huh.
things like telepathy and all the other things that have been mystified and science fiction based are actually have real applications once you know what you're working with and how to really tune in to the different muscles and processes. Like it's so many muscles and I mean, even different processing in our brain that we're never aware of, and they actually have real life supernatural application in terms of how people are able to visualize movies and every all of that. That's like the magic of it bringing in that energy from the environment, and everybody
Yeah.
can tap into that. So yeah, that's just like on the upside of healing, on a healing base, if a person's trying to get, I would say, for people that I'm trying to see if they could help them in terms of any disorders, stress, pain, depression, anxieties, better focus and concentration within studying. If you wanted
Mm-hmm.
to heal some past life, inner child regressions and things that you may feel like you've been suppressing, like
Mm-hmm.
sound and resonance, and the way I do my psychoacoustic entrainments, it could all help with that. And so if people are not, just looking for the experience of how to expand the spirit and more about the healing of the mental or physical attributes that they may suffer from.
Mm. Do you really know, do you just want to touch on this? Do you really know why people tend to have issues with their nervous system?
Yeah. Um, Most people, I would say, that are living in the world today have an issue with the nervous system because of either not having that frequent check when it comes to the alignment within chiropractic, and I mean, kind of the ignorance that we've given the chakras and how energetic and emotional frequencies affect how we make motions and actions in the world. So, oh, that like, yeah,
It's a
I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah, it just dawned on me because I know that's the biggest part of, well, I don't know if I should say the biggest part of the brain, but it's like that's the part of the brain that we have to stay on top of.
Yeah,
The nervous
it's
system.
literally the first. Your nervous system, like the brain, is like that, the hub, but your nervous system is the first system in the body to generate based off of its need for sensory input. All of the other organs are made because of the nervous system wanting to experience a certain sensation. So
Mhm,
the effects that everybody have in the world today with the nervous system, it comes from overstimulation, and it's because of the artificial unnatural demand that we have in our everyday lives, from in every facet, in in every way, that is just not what we're here for. And that's
mhm,
just that, getting back to the basis of it, but yeah, it's not understanding how they're being programmed, becoming programmed, and then having a corrupt program in the system, and it causes different malfunctions to happen, like disease, like mental disorders, like behavioral issues, and everything else that people do that seem just like, why would they do that? If we're supposed to be made in God's image and such benevolent
mhm,
beings, and this and that, it's really a corruption at a molecular level, which is why I use sound, because sound is a medium that can be used that doesn't need your permission to affect the overall outcome. It has been used as a weapon, in
mhm.
terms of military weaponry, or even music, in everyday media, but it also can be used, to heal. So everything has that positive and negative polarity, and how, one person's bad could be another person's good, kind of thing. So it could be used for those purposes, and reattuning. Like in my sessions, I like to say that I'm resetting, the nervous system, because
Mhm.
putting the nervous system in a different vibratory entrainment and pattern for a certain amount of time, in spanning over that time and space, and building that reoccurrence and lapse and pattern and practice in the spiritual, realization tool of, connecting to the universe around you, and it being able to
Yeah.
sense and be more. It happens at the nervous system, and it's just that we're really overstimulated, and we have to get more back into the natural processes of being, healing, and existing, so that we're not malfunctioning, basically.
Yeah. Have you ever had your brain scanned? Not well, those little bands that they have that they put on your head to
Hmm.
scan the brain and see how it works. Have you ever had that done?
No, I want to. I think it'll be really interesting.
I thought about getting that done because I heard that if they find, now I don't know about this part, but if they find an operative part of your brain, they can zap it or something and get it to function.
I believe that. I mean, even in terms of, because it's like you're creating the vibration. Even if you like, if they zapped it with a laser or a light or a frequency, it literally is going to shake it up and wake it up. I believe that that actually can happen, but if a person is actually ready for it or not is a whole nother thing, and how safe that may be depending on what's being used. I would say it could
Yeah,
be, yeah. And then even with, it just depends on that person. Like, certain light therapies and chakra therapies that are effective, and I've seen that I definitely think about incorporating. But in terms of going in and doing that to the extreme and like making it work or making it go, and just I don't want to force anything.
something that's inhumane, really. You don't know what
Right,
type of mechanism they're using. And it, like you said, the person may not be ready for it.
right,
So maybe trying to do it through sun gazing or something like that.
right, right. Or it sound like sound therapy and just being able to
Sound,
resonate with those natural tones and stuff. Like it, oh my God, like I think about all of the testimonies that I've had, so far. It's been amazing to just be a part of
good.
everybody's journey.
Yeah,
'Cause, I
wonderful.
mean, tapping into their ancestry, talking to relatives in different times and spaces, and like connecting to different times and spaces in their lives. And it was one lady that was having sessions with me, and I think she got into a car accident. She had some leg issues. She was recovering her with some bones in her leg, and basically she came to me and we did I told her about the chiropractic and all of that, but we did the sound therapy, and she literally got up, and every time she got up she would get up, she would go out, walking faster than what she came in. And she would even say that she was like, see, I'm getting better. Like, ooh, I feel amazing. And I'm like, wow, like, it's just you wouldn't think that a natural tone would help something so fundamental and so important. And I don't know, it's like,
Yeah.
even when since I've been studying and I mean understanding what sound is more,
Mm-hmm.
um it really is like the resonance, like, in when they say in the beginning there was a word, and word, and just the resonance of the word, like everything's being molecularly held together by a resonance. So when that opera singer sings and she breaks the glass, and she matches resonance with what's holding that glass together, so everything is like a vibe, so to speak. So working with sound has been able to help unfold the different processes of just waves in people's lives, at so many levels. And
Mm.
there's so much I can say.
I really appreciate you. You said a lot, and I wrote, like I said, I took down some notes. So, I mean, if you have anything to post, I'll share it, and you can send it to me, and I'll share or tag me in it on
Hmm.
Instagram, and I'll share it. Where that way people know, these are things that you can use. These are methods that you can use, things you could take, music. There's a guy on Instagram, he shares these, and I can't think of his name, but he shares these, it's music. It's instrumental music. And it's
Mm.
like the he creates these structures of shapes, and the movement, you could just, it's like energy flow. It's like different ones that he'll create, and then he adds a tone to it. So it's like they stand out, and then you'll see it moving and glowing, and
Oh
and
yeah, that's probably you need to send that to me. That's probably I seen something like that recently where they were able to take the holograms of the cymatics and put them out in a 3D nature where you can spiritually see how
yeah,
the sound was a man. So yeah, if
yeah.
you got that, yeah.
I'll tag you in it because I normally will run across him like when he posts something, and then you know how Instagram is. Sometimes the algorithm is so messed up. You like, where's this person? I haven't seen them in a while. And then sometimes
Right,
they end up unfollowing people, and you're like, well, I thought I was following this person,
right.
but I don't know. Some of that stuff is wacky over there. But yeah, that the shapes stand out and the tones, and it looks. And I'm just so drawn to the instrumental, music part of it, and the shapes at the same time. So I'm just like, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, it's like you high, you on a roller coaster.
Yeah, right. That internal etheric subconscious experience of just that, like, this is it's so like elemental. It's elementary. Like elementary school was supposed to be, I believe, that, that sensory experience and connection with the oneness and the complexity of all that is, just generated into an experience that could be realized individually rather than forced by,
Mhm.
that's the system. So yeah, that's good. Huh?
When I see him, I'll tag you to his page so that way you'll
Okay.
know that that's the guy I'm talking about. But yeah, he
Okay.
has a lot of stuff on his. When you look through his page, you'll see a whole bunch of 3D figures that he created and the tones that he has added to it. And it's very interesting. And then it's another. You do the sound toning too on your site. There's another guy, he does it. I followed him. I think his name is either Benjamin or Ben or something, but he does a
Mhm.
lot of sound toning. And I know that's another thing that you can listen to as well, right?
Right. Right.
And, and what is it? Is it called sound toning? Is it called something else?
Yeah, like you're saying, like listening to the pure tones, right?
Yeah, the little bows that you have.
Yeah,
And,
it's sound out there. I mean, they call it sound bowl therapy. I mean, it's like sound. It's still with sound therapy, but they call it, sound bowl because they're singing bowls. And I have my first one here. It's the alloy base, and it's
okay,
it's heart chakra. But yeah, like the resonance of the bowl is what really is important for its purpose. I don't. I
and
so much. It's so much I want to say. I'm just like,
that sounds out in your brain too, because you have the different sizes, which carries a different tone.
yeah, right. And that one right there is the heart chakra, and that's that green. And
Uh,
I was another thing I was gonna say with that experience too, like those primary colors and getting down to the fundamental spectrum of just existence helps like get rid of a lot of like just issues, because a lot of times the problems in our lives are something that we are mentally manifesting based off of whatever preconceived experience or whatever, like the program. But
mhm.
if we could get out of, that way of understanding it can have dramatic, benefit.
Right. Right. But yeah, I didn't want to leave that part out. I almost forgot about it. That you also, I looked on your page and you also do that, the sound bowls. So yeah, that's another thing that I listen to at night. So like I said, I switch up and I'll do different
Yeah.
things.
And the sound bowls just generate a frequency just like the binaural beats and things. It's just that, I mean, because sometimes I play two bowls at a time, and that's how I create that my binaural synchronization, just depending on which pitch that I'm playing at the time. But those help, like they've just been used forever. And I mean, as far as back as I guess we could know in Egyptian times and all that, it's synchronous. It helps with deep meditation and synchronizing the brain waves. But so because you have actually two brains, so you have a left brain, right brain, and in the midpoint where you people talk, right here about the third eye and the
Mm-hmm.
hypothalamus, and when you think about the eye of Horus and all of that hemispheric structure in the brain connects both hemispheres, and it literally
Oh,
it's talking to each side back and forth all day. That's kind of like that good side, bad side kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
and it's like you're literally in a battle with yourself in your experience, and
Wow.
you're deciding with yourself what you want to do. Because it's like your consciousness isn't being generated in the brain, it's being received from the source of wherever it's coming from. And so it helps really in deep meditative states, and just increasing that synchronization of the brain, and everything that all the benefits that come with that.
Yeah, and you could definitely feel it. Like it's almost like you gotta grab your heart. You gotta, you feel your brain move. It's like shoot, something taking over me.
Right,
I feel like something taking over you. That's like
right,
hearing music, and your body start moving before it. You can even think while you're moving. You like, oh shoot, oh yeah, I like this song.
that's it. That's it right there. Like literally, that was one of my moments of epiphany where I was like, I can make a person move based off the way I sound. So if
Hmm.
everything we're talking about creating a vibe, and people like, oh, good vibes and bad vibes, I'm like, okay, the vibe is changing. Like it's like the same way the water moves. We're
Hmm.
mostly water, so the dance is a molecular geometrical pattern
Yeah,
based off of individual experience. Like that's the most complicated way I could explain dance to somebody, but it's literally that. It's your complex geometrical design of expression, and
yeah,
based off of what you're vibrating to. So
yeah.
yeah, and that was a realization. And I was like, okay, this is something that I don't think everybody really realized, but it doesn't matter that they don't realize because it actually still affects them.
Right. That's that song you just say, I don't like that song. And then you
Right,
just out and all of a sudden you just like, I thought I didn't like that song, but I do. You
right,
just don't know why you move it. But it's just certain instruments that catch you and you just
hmm,
moving off of the flow of the instrument.
right.
That it's amazing. It's amazing how things happen in this world. I'm like I said, I'm so shocked most of the time. I don't understand how I know stuff. And one day something might hit me, and I believe in this, and I don't know. I just don't know. I know I've tapped into tapped into myself, something real. That's
Right,
all. I know I'm here. I'm existing. I'm living. Just like a plant. But that's it. That's all.
right.
We are, like you said, we're plants. You know, you look outside when the wind is blowing, it's almost like the trees are talking to each other.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you're listening.
Yep, it look like they just dancing and moving, and I'm like, look at those trees. But like I said, some people like go crazy.
Right. Right. It just can't
Everybody.
sit. Yeah, it's a different type. It's a different level of beauty. It's like you're able to see that divine beauty, and everybody don't appreciate what that is.
Yeah, they don't know. It hasn't touched them yet.
Right,
And maybe
right,
it will in this lifetime.
right.
So I appreciate it. Having you on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate you having me.
great conversation. I'm gonna have you back on again. I'm gonna let you get all your stuff together, things that you're planning, and then we'll
Okay,
definitely talk again. But I
okay,
appreciate having you, brother. And these are the conversations that I like, and we draw from each other. That's a great thing. People understanding people and just going with the flow.
right. Well,
So,
yep.
anything else you want to add?
No, that's all for for now. I mean, we can end off on there, and I look forward to definitely coming back because I mean, yeah, like you said, there's so much more that we can to definitely discuss. I hope that what we have talked about today, and I mean, for the viewers that are listening, like I said, if you have any additional questions and concerns, feel free to reach out. And I hope that I brought some clarity in some areas of understanding.
Okay. Appreciate it, Kivian, and have a great night. Thank you for coming on the Key to J Reveal show. All right,
Thank you for
y'all.
having me.
And we're
Uh-huh.
out.
Peace.